course, tonight is really the celebration of Sarkis and what he's done through our community over at least 20 years of public service to the city of Ryde, but many, many years of service well before that. Sarkis has multicultural organisations in particular. We really rarely hear about community television. All of the work that he did through the 80s and 90s in the community, not of a political nature, but just connecting people and bringing people together. It's a rarely does he speak about that. I hope he speaks more often about it, in fact, because it weaves the fabric of our community and brings us all closer together in embracing multiculturalism. Sarkis I first met when he joined the party in about 2010. He'd been a successful independent candidate. I think he tried once before. He learnt the hard way. He tells a great story about how he got so many more hundreds of votes other than some other character as an independent. If that person got elected and he didn't, he thought, Jesus, this doesn't work. I think it says elected, was it 2003? I think the first attempt was 1999, if I'm not mistaken. He trumped the primary, but missed the preference vote, so all important. It's a hard lesson in politics, but you learn and you keep on going, and he's a man of great resilience. So he's been elected for 20 years this year in March, and we congratulate and celebrate him tonight for 20 years of service, but equally he was in the community well before that, and he's done so much more beyond politics, I'm certain. Having joined the party, I must say, in 2010, he embraced the Liberal Party. He was already an independent councillor. He became our Bennelong Federal Conference Treasurer. I couldn't tell you how many dollars, hundreds of thousands he's raised in the early years of John Alexander, but it's considerable. And much of our success through that period of JA's tenure is due to Sarkis and the bankrolling of what were some very expensive campaigns. If you could, well, Scott can, if you could imagine spending $1 million 12 years ago on an election campaign, I can't, but sure enough, JA did. It takes a pretty impressive treasurer to find the money, to collate and allocate it. You've done an extraordinary amount of internal work in the party that I salute you for. But importantly, you've done so much in our community representing Ryde, and in particular, you've represented the Armenian community with great distinction. For a man of my generation and age, Armenia was behind the Iron Curtain, as it were. One of the republics of the Soviet Union. I grew up, I must say, through our school system with no knowledge of Armenia, no knowledge of genocide, no knowledge of the history of that region. We studied all the things we still study in school, the Gallipoli or the Anzacs and the like, but there's another story to that at the same time, which is now fully appreciated. It's appreciated and understood in our community. It's appreciated in our school system, which is important. It wasn't for previous generations, and it's for people like you, Sarkis, for the extraordinary achievements you've made in public life. Not only for the most recent effort, your legacy will include raising the Armenian flag on Republic Day of Armenia on the 28th of May, but equally you lead the genocide commemoration, which is an extraordinarily moving series of commemorative services, both here locally at Ryde and in Chatswood and in the city, to commemorate those 1.5 million lives lost of Armenian, Assyrian and Greek background. I think your legacy and your achievements are extraordinary. Within the minutiae of council, you've done a great deal to be proud of. We often debate voluntary planning agreements. In the Laxale era, the Laxale Towers is a good and a bad example of a voluntary planning agreement. Sarkis has successfully negotiated and led VPAs. The Top Ryde Shopping Centre, for example, gave us an uplift to council and community of $45 million, which is quite extraordinary for no outlay. And still we have ongoing benefit that we've used through nighttime economy, through the plaza, and through interactions between council, community and Top Ryde, for example. There are many other examples beyond that as well, but I wanted to certainly pay tribute to Sarkis for not only 20 years, for leadership of the group within the Liberal caucus, which is important. When you first get elected, I've been in the party now for 38 years, so I was elected having 30 years of membership, and I thought to myself, away from what could have been some pretty hairy policy decisions to some very sensible, sound ones, because you have such, you are so deeply embedded in our community that you have very clear and deep understandings of what people expect. But equally, you're very clever as a politician. And I respect you for your political nous and your political judgment, which I found to be quite extraordinary in the 7 or 8 years that I've worked with you. So, or volunteered stroke work with you. So to that, I want to commend you. Finally, I'd like to acknowledge I'm your successor immediately. I think you were very generous, Sarkis. You served as a councillor for 20 years. I know you were deputy mayor for 3 years and mayor for about a year and a half. And I think the final act of your great generosity is that you would hand the baton on, so to speak. And I might be the immediate beneficiary, but you did that so that the party might be the great beneficiaries in September. And that is an act of extraordinary generosity. And I want to thank you for that from my heart to yours. You are most generous as a man and most generous as a political leader. And finally, can I conclude my remarks by saying, Mary, that we celebrate both of you tonight. I must say, you've given a lot yourself. You've shared Sarkis with us over all of these years, and you've shared Sarkis with the community. And you're a wonderful mayoress of Ryde in your term, and we are greatly indebted to both of you because you are a great community, you're a great team in our community, and you are recognised as such. And to that, we have a tribute dinner to you tonight. I know that wasn't your immediate acceptance, Sarkis. He had to be persuaded. He's a very humble man. It's very hard to have lots of people say kind things about you, I'm sure, but you're a very humble man, but you've achieved so much and you've so much to be proud of, and we are all enormously proud of you both in the Liberal Party. And I think we have a video coming up to roll through the years. This one is particularly good. I hadn't seen this until tonight, but I've heard about the Omar Sharif, and it's a limited edition, I'm told. It's really very special. I think this year is 2003, is it? 99, that is the original, right, fair enough. So well done, that is beautiful. I've waited a lot of years to see that, and that's a special gift. Might even be an auction prize. Someone might like to take that home if you into the classics. Buying a touch of Omar is fantastic. Congratulations again, Sarkis. It's a wonderful career in public life and wonderful career and commitment to public service, and we're thrilled that we've concluded it tonight with you as our longest standing Liberal councillor on the Ryde Council, and that we can offer you this tribute dinner to you tonight.
Thank you, Trenton. And now, the moment of the night, if we can all give a standing ovation for Sarkis as he comes up to give a speech.